SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
Back down here at Ben Davis with one of the best basketball coaches in the country, Coach Mark James. Coach, you've always been so gracious. Thank you so much. I want to go back to the conversation I had with you last summer, sitting 10 feet away in your office. And you told me that wherever Aaron commits, what they need to know is they're going to have a better player when he gets there than when he commits soon. And he's going to be a better player when he leaves. So I'm asking you, how is he a better player today than we were here a year ago?
I think he's a more rounded player. He led our team in about every category. He averaged 9 rebounds, 16, 17 points, shot over 56% from the field, was our best defender, shared the ball real well. I think he's a much more rounded player than he was going into the season because of the responsibilities he had on our team. He held the ball up for us, defended the best players from the other team, and a lot of things I think that he will eventually be able to hopefully do up at Michigan State.
When he was up at Michigan State the last time, I saw him looking up into the rafters. Of course, there's a lot of jerseys up there.
Sure.
And I just asked him about it. I said, do you remember it? And he did. And I said, what were you thinking about? And he goes, he wasn't looking at the players. He was looking at the team banners. Mm-hmm. He goes, I want a team banner. How do you get a kid that's, in today's society, that's so not about me but team?
We were very fortunate the last couple of years here. We've had kids that were that way. It's a cultural thing, just like I'm sure that, every team goes through that. It took us a few years to get a group that would think team first. Mm-hmm. It's not about me, it's about us, that type of attitude. Aaron's bought into that. I think that's been a big part of his success. We told his group coming in, when they were younger, we ended up with 2 of them. We lost kids for various reasons, and last year's group that won the state, the big thing was that your notoriety as a player is going to be based on how well our team does. I think Michigan State is a perfect example of that. A lot of their kids end up going to pros or getting things after the season's over. It's because Michigan State's had a good season. I think most programs are that way, and we had to sell that to these kids, but they've sort of bought into that now, I think.
Let's talk about, what do you think Aaron is the best part of his game, and what does he got to get better at, in your opinion?
I think his on-ball defense should be a big strength for him. Now, whether it will be up there or not, I don't know. His ability to take the ball and push it and go and put pressure right away on the defense should be a good thing. That's what he did for us in high school. He could really shove the ball. We had 4 guys running down the floor quick all the time because he was able to do that as a bigger kid on our team. Up there, he's probably going to be able to have 3, maybe, or even a 2 that can take it and just go with it and get the ball out going right away. And I think that's a hard thing for anyone to have to guard at any level. And I know most of the schools that recruit him like him because of that, because he could do so many different things on offense and defense. I think he can guard multiple positions. I don't think he'd be locked in to just guarding a 3. I think he could guard a 2, even a 1 if he had to. And I think he guard, maybe a 4. Depends on how that kid's playing. So I think his versatility will be his biggest strength up at Michigan State.
What's he got to get better at, Coach?
Catch and shoot. I think if you say him down, he'd tell you that. Especially playing at that level, the catch and shoot game is going to be huge for him because he's really good getting the basket. He's got all kinds of moves getting to the rack, and he's very strong. But the catch and shoot stuff is something he's going to have to improve upon.
Tom Izzo has a philosophy, and he says when your best player is your hardest worker, good things can happen because they establish the ceiling.
Sure.
I'm not trying to be disparaging of anyone, but I think it's fair to say he was probably the best player on your team this year.
Oh, without a doubt. We always tell our kids that they're leaders all the time and that they lead by example for each other. And he was one that when they looked at him, he took the court. They knew he was pretty serious. And that's always good for younger kids if they can look up to older kids that work hard and have that type of seriousness about the game. It makes my job a lot easier.
So I have to ask. So I snuck down to a game this year, and I didn't want him to know I was here because I was here evaluating, and sometimes kids are different if they know meetings
sure.
are. And he was playing a guy that was trash talking him pretty good, and he went up and just did a dunk that should have been a Sports Center highlight.
Yeah.
Didn't say a word, didn't try to show the kid up, just ran down the court.
Yeah.
And later on in the game, and he had a very good game, he had messed something up, and you were on him like Izzo would be.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but
Well, it was good, and he took it. And the first thing that clicked in my mind I wanted to ask you about is, he's coachable, isn't he?
yes, very much so. Yeah. You know, it's okay to make mistakes, but if the mistakes I think are ones of effort, we define what effort is, you know, like not running, not boxing out, you know, not talking, things that you can control without the ball in your hands. That's when I chirp at him a little bit, probably more than I should. And I'm sure that that's what he will hear when he gets to Michigan State. Because there's so many things in the game you can't control. We talk to him constantly about controlling things you can. And that's your attitude and effort at all times. And he did a real nice job this year of controlling his attitude, like you're saying. We had a lot of games where he was double teamed early with the ball because he had a couple of kids that couldn't shoot. He stayed within the framework, didn't force shots. I thought he had a really nice senior year for us.
Off the court, he's one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet. But he is fiercely competitive.
Yeah.
Where's that come from?
His parents, they're really nice people. They've done a great job raising him. Made my job easier because his parents expect a lot from him, and they expect him to behave a certain way. And you know, that's blood, thicker than water on everything. And I think they've done a great job with him.
Last question, but you went to my next one. Maybe you can take my job when you retire as a media guy.
I doubt it.
But you mentioned his family, and I think they're pretty extraordinary folks.
Yeah.
Miles Bridges, Jaren Jackson had the same thing. Really good families. In today's millennial world, where a lot of guys are quitting coaching because they can't handle families, refs are saying, forget coaches and players, I can't deal with parents.
Yeah.
They're a rarity. What did the Henry family did that other parents can learn from them?
Well, like Aaron for us, they were never in here telling me he had to play X number of minutes or he had to have points or shots. They sort of bought into the idea that when I told them, you know, we'll get him to college. The colleges will determine what level, how much he improves and how hard he works will determine all this. But when the colleges look at him, they're going to look at his attitude and his effort first. And that the notoriety of our team, the better we are, they'll know he's playing opposition in high school. They'll watch him in AU ball. These guys are smart. That's what they get paid to do. And they sort of bought into all that. And I never had an issue with them, not one time, about, you know, he'd be in the post. I'm sure they want him out playing point guard. No, we never had those conversations. And I've been really fortunate. I don't have those very often. I've been real fortunate with the type of kids and parents I've coached over the years that they've sort of been understanding of what we were trying to do.
All right, I'm going to tease you a little bit because I've gotten to know you and I really genuinely like you.
Okay.
You try hard to come off as the crusty, I don't care guy.
Yeah.
But Aaron told me he loved you.
Yeah.
And appreciated you. Yeah. And I don't care how long you've coached and how much success you've had. When a good character kid like that talks about what you've meant to him and he loves you and what you mean to him,
Yeah.
That's got to be more than a state championship.
That's the reason you do it. It's sort of like being a fireman and a policeman. You know, you're not doing that for yourself all the time. You do it for others. And I think if you teach and coach, that's what you're doing. You're trying to give to other people what you have. And that's sort of what I've done. And we've been real fortunate. He's been one that sort of picked up on some of those things. And hope he does well at Michigan State. I'm sure he will. He has to stay injury-free, obviously. But as far as attitude and effort, he'll be a great kid for him.
Awesome. Great coach, James. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate